Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our Herbal Hour. And tonight we're going to go over the nervous system. So let me go ahead and share my screen and get this going here. It always wants to come up with presenter view for some reason. Okay, so talk about the nervous system tonight. And I've already gone over who I am. For those of you that are watching the first time, my name is Brenda Generali. I'm a naturopath, and I am my school is sanctioned with IPA, and I'm a comprehensive iridology instructor, certified nutritional consultant, herbalist, and all that good stuff. So thank you for being here tonight. I know that there could be many other things that you would be doing, but I appreciate that you're here. There's a lot of people that couldn't be here tonight, so they'll be watching the recordings. And of course, I always go over the waiver. So the disclaimer, so Joyful Living Services cannot be held liable for any misuse or malpractice of any techniques taught within this webinar, nor for any injury, suffering, or distress caused by students undertaking the techniques discussed. All students must accept that they are wholly responsible for their actions relating to the practice of herbs and must adhere to the relevant laws in their country and state of residence. Students are responsible for ensuring that they have appropriate insurance for practicing in their country and state of residence. Joyful Living Services cannot be held responsible for any advice given by students to members of the public. Students must adhere to their local laws regarding the requirement for registration and/or qualification as an herbalist before suggesting supplements or offering nutritional advice. We're going to get done with this class and we're going to have about 15 new herbalists because everybody wants to get certified. So that's very cool. Okay, so let's talk about the nervous system. It's an internal communication system relaying signals with short electrical impulses. I'm sure you guys already know everything that's in this presentation. So this will be just kind of a little reminder to you, okay? The central nervous system is composed of the brain and spinal cord, and the peripheral nervous system extends to all other parts of the body. Health problems related to the nervous system include stress, which we all know very well, insomnia, depression, nervous disorders, headaches, and MS. So this is a nice little chart here that talks about the central nervous system and starts up down here. Well, we'll start over here where the central nervous system, which is the CNS. It consists of the brain, the spinal cord. It's responsible for integrating, processing, and coordinating sensory data and motor commands. Okay. So then we have the peripheral nervous system, the PNS, and this includes all the neural tissue outside of the central nervous system. So anything outside of the brain and the spinal cord.
Question. Would the peripheral nervous system involve fascia? I think some people also are under the impression that fascia is also has nerves.
No, it's not. It's not part of. Okay, so receptors, number one down here, receptors are sensory structures that detect changes in the internal or external environment. And then we have visceral sensory receptors. These monitor the internal organs. And then we go up here and we have two kinds. We have somatic sensory receptors. These provide position, touch, pressure, pain, temperature, sensations. And then we have special sensory receptors that provide sensations of smell, taste, vision, balance, and hearing. Now, it's really amazing what the nervous system does. Then over here, we have the sensory division of the peripheral nervous system, which brings information to the central nervous system from receptors in the peripheral tissues and the organs. Well, up here, we have information processing, and that includes integration and distribution of information in the central nervous system. Then we have the motor division of the peripheral nervous system, and this carries motor commands from the central nervous system to the peripheral tissues and system, and it breaks down into two. The somatic nervous system, which controls the skeletal muscle contractions, which control the skeletal muscle. And then we have the autonomic nervous system, which is something that we talk about with iridology. And this provides autonomic or automatic regulation of smooth muscle, cardiac muscle, glands, and adipose tissue. So the smooth muscle, cardiac muscle, glands, and adipose tissue. And then there are effectors, which are target organs whose activities change in response to neural commands. If you want to know more about this, there's all kinds of research out there that you can learn. So these are neurons. And if you didn't know anything about neurons, it's really complicated. I can talk to my daughter and she can go on and on and on and tell you about neurons because she learned all about them in college. But the nervous system is made up of a group of cells called neurons. And these are two different kinds of neurons here. A neuron is a cell body with a nucleus, a dendrite, when a dendrite receives input, and an axon, which relays signals to other cells. So it goes from cell to cell to cell to cell. And they transmit information through the body in a manner similar to the way electricity flows. Most of us have seen videos where we can see, the electricity flowing like through a wire. Okay, the nerve impulses begins with the reversal of concentration of sodium and potassium. So those are very important, not only for the heart, but also for the nervous system, both inside and outside the neuron. Sodium rushes into the cell and potassium rushes out. Okay, and that generates momentum that conducts an impulse down the axon toward the dendrite of the next neuron, and so on and so on, and it goes. And this continues from cell to cell until the message is delivered. And this all takes place at lightning speed. They said incredible speed, lightning speed. Okay, so some of the spaces between the nerve cells are called junctions, and they're very small. The impulse can travel from one nerve to the next very, very quickly. These are called gap junctions. And most neurons relay signals across larger spaces called synaptic junctions. So these require chemical messengers, which I know you've all heard of, is neurotransmitters. So you can see the little neurotransmitters here in these vesicles and then here. All right, so when we talk about a lot of issues, a lot of brain issues, ADD, ADHD, all of these issues with the brain, then we're talking about neurotransmitters. And they are chemicals that allow the transmission of signals from one neuron to the next across synapses. Okay, so they're released into the synaptic junction by one cell in bond with receptors on the membrane of the neighboring cell. After the electronic signal has been relayed, neurotransmitters are deactivated and recycled. So they don't last very long. And they include, and you've heard of these, serotonin, okay, acetylcholine, dopamine, GABA, right? Norepinephrine, which is also noradrenaline. Abnormal levels of these neurotransmitters can cause many complications. For instance, just the serotonin, if it's low, it's associated with obesity, depression, sleep disorders, anxiety, migraine headaches, and so on. And we know that neurotransmitters play a huge part, ADD, ADHD, autism, and all these things. But this also, if somebody has MTHFR defects, and if they have the A1298C methylation defect, that has to do with all the neurotransmitters, okay, the feel-good hormones. Okay, myelin sheath, we've all heard of myelin sheaths, okay, and many neurons are surrounded by these special cells right here. This is the myelin sheath, forms an outer layer here. It's composed mostly of lipids, insulates the neurons, speed up the conduction impulses, and it prevents short circuits between those neurons. A deterioration of the myelin sheath, I'm sure you've heard, it's associated with lots of degenerative disorders of the nervous system. So myelin sheath is very, very important. I've got a couple different charts in here because everybody's different with their visuals. But here we have central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. The nervous system has two major divisions, the CNS and the PNS. Okay, the central nervous system is composed of the brain and the spinal cord. Brain and spinal cord here. It's the body's main signal processing unit. And the nerves, bless you, the nerves of the of the peripheral nervous system extend to other parts of the body, including internal organs, skeletal muscles, glands. So cranial nerves, there you go, there's your cranial sacral. Cranial nerves, spinal nerves, sensory organs such as eyes, nose, tongue, ears, and the skin. And the peripheral nervous system that subdivides more into somatic and autonomic pathways. So the somatic pathway responses, they're voluntary, meaning that you can control them. For example, use of my arm, legs, okay, sensory perceptions. This is controlled by somatic nerves. The autonomic pathways, these are things that you can't control, such as digestion, excretions, heartbeat, contraction of smooth muscles. So there's a difference between the peripheral and the autonomic. So this is a great little chart, and this shows the difference here. So the autonomic pathways divide again into the sympathetic and parasympathetic and branches of the nervous system. And this is what we cover in IPA. And an interesting Corin just came on. Hi, Corin. And these branches work independently and opposite of one another. So we talk about the difference between the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. The sympathetic nervous system is what everybody is in when they're on the freeway, okay? Or after they drink a cup of coffee, or when they're being chased or need to run faster or do something, okay? They're in their fight or flight. This prepares the body for stress. Cortisol and adrenaline is released, increases the heart rate, blood pressure, and digestion decreases. And the parasympathetic nervous system, this is when we're at rest and we digest. This returns the body to a calm state. We have the growth hormones, the DHEA, melatonin. We have decreased heart rate and blood pressure, and this is when the body repairs. And I have another chart that I actually use in my class that I'll show you. I love this picture. Look at this. Look at this lion. And this is what happens when he chases you. You instantly go into fight or flight. So, right? Sympathetic nervous system secretes neurotransmitter noradrenaline, initiates fight or flight responses when it's stimulated by physical, emotional, or environmental stress. So it doesn't have to be physical. You could think it. You can be stressed at work. Okay, you can go drink a cup of caffeine and that'll put you in the fight or flight. You can get behind the wheel of your car and have to drive to work and have somebody tailgating you and it'll put you in fight or flight, right? Okay, this is a primitive instinct-like ability that allows a person to maximize energy in order to most effectively react to stress. Raises blood sugar, heart rate, blood pressure, metabolism. It constricts the blood vessels. It stops less vital functions like digestion. It's specifically meant to get you to go faster and to run away from that lion. Of course, we don't have lions now that are chasing us. Yeah. We have cars with people in them. And then, of course, you go into the parasympathetic, right? Which is when you do yoga like I did this morning, or float like I did this afternoon. And I could just go do it all over again and forget working. It's like that puts me into the parasympathetic. It gets me to relax and calm down and just be calm. Okay, so the parasympathetic nervous system normalizes the body by balancing it to the state it was in before the stimulus occurred. So before the freeway stress, before having that stressful conversation with your spouse, before, having somebody tailgate, whatever. The neurotransmitter acetylcholine restores non-vital functions. The reciprocating actions of the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system allows the body to cope with stress without being overwhelmed by its physiological effects. So the more we do this, the more we relax, the more we support our parasympathetic nervous system, whether it be with, cranial sacral or yoga or acupressure or chiropractic or floating or walking or meditating, whatever we do to be calm, to go within, is going to bring us out of sympathetic into parasympathetic and help us deal better. B vitamins, okay, calming herbs, catnip and chamomile, whatever we do to help our nervous system to repair and to relax. So look at this picture, isn't that great? I can just imagine that poor guy. Okay, and so of course we know, and we've all experienced stress and how negative it can impact our body. So in addition to uncontrollable physical reactions, stress can deplete vitamin C and B complex, vitamin E, and vitamin A. So really important to supplement with C, B complex, A, and E. Okay, these vitamins are essential to proper development and function of the nervous system because they act as coenzymes in chemical reactions and raw materials for nerve cells. Adequate vitamin and mineral intake can help provide the body with the nutrients it needs to function properly, even under stress. So if you have stress, you're burning your minerals, right? You're burning your minerals. If you have stress, you're burning your C and your B and your A and your E. Okay, so I don't know anybody on this planet that doesn't have some kind of stress, whether it be physical, emotional, or mental stress. Okay, if you're stressed, you're burning your minerals and your vitamins. So this is the chart that I use in my iridology class that I really like. And this helped me understand the difference between the parasympathetic and the sympathetic. So sympathetic is fight or flight. You know, that's when you're running away. That's when you're going fast. That's when the lion is chasing you. That's when you're under stress, when you're being yelled at from your boss or have a fight with your spouse or whatever. Parasympathetic is when you calm, or this is also when you're going hiking and you're like, if you live where I live, you go up and you're hiking up the hill, right? You go into sympathetic and your heart is pounding. Okay. When you go down the hill and you're relaxing, then you go into parasympathetic. Okay. So yoga and all those things to help you relax. So the cardiovascular system in parasympathetic, it decreases the heart rate. In sympathetic, it increases the heart rate. So people with high blood pressure, guess what? They live here. They live here. So you got to get them in here. You got to get them from sympathetic into parasympathetic. The lungs, when we're in parasympathetic, the bronchial tubes constrict because we don't need that extra air. We're not going anywhere. Okay, in sympathetic, we need to go someplace. Okay, those bronchial tubes dilate. Person's going to breathe harder, right? Muscles, the muscles relax when we're in parasympathetic. They don't need to work hard. They constrict in sympathetic. Pupils, they constrict. They get smaller in parasympathetic. Okay, when somebody is relaxed, the pupils constrict. When they are in sympathetic, they dilate. Now, this has a lot to do with the light that's shined in the eyes, but even when there's light shining in the eyes, this pupil should constrict. And if it doesn't constrict, or this one doesn't constrict, then there's a problem. If it stays dilated, then you know that they're in sympathetic, or they could be like my daughter and stay in the dark all the time. So it kind of depends on, what's going on. But since I know my daughter and I know she lives here, and she has dilated pupils. Okay, gastrointestinal, when you're in parasympathetic, it increases the stomach movement and the secretions and you digest better, right? When you're in sympathetic, that's when everything gets tight. It decreases movement and secretion. So a lot more problems with heartburn and problems with elimination and things like that. Salivary glands, the production increases when you're in parasympathetic. It decreases in sympathetic. Adrenals, no involvement here, but guess what? When you're under stress, you increase your adrenaline. Your adrenaline, your cortisol, it all increases. Okay. And so we talk about adrenal burnout. This is where you get adrenal burnout, adrenal fatigue right here. Glucose conversion, no involvement here. Here it converts glycogen for muscle energy. So most people live right here, and we need to get them here. All right. There's another chart that I like that shows the difference here with the parasympathetic and the sympathetic. It's the same information, a little bit more information in here, but it shows the spinal cord and the different organs and how it's all related. So parasympathetic nervous system constricts the pupil, stimulates saliva production, constricts the bronchioles, slows the heart, stimulates the stomach, the pancreas, intestines, stimulates urination, and promotes erection of the genitals. Sympathetic dilates the pupils, inhibits saliva production, dilates the bronchioles, accelerates the heart rate, stimulates epinephrine, norepinephrine release, stimulates glucose release. So, you talk about diabetes here, you talk about issues with neurotransmitters, inhibits stomach, pancreas, and intestines. So you're talking about problems with heartburn and all kinds of problems here. Inability to break down their foods, difficult with elimination, inhibits urination, okay, promotes ejaculation and vaginal contractions. So this is the difference here between sympathetic and parasympathetic. Did you know that the average adult, I could have put so many things in here, but I just kept it small. The average adult brain weighs about 3 pounds. That's it, only about 3 pounds. And some nerve fibers with myelin sheaths conduct impulses as fast as 600 feet per second. An estimated 10,000 neurons die each day from aging, disease, injury, or poisons. That's a lot. Okay, here's some fun facts. The funny bone is a nerve. 30,000 miles of nerves are in your body. Over 3/4 of your brain and spinal cord are made of water. And the word cerebellum comes from the Latin word little brain. I thought those were interesting. Okay, so nervous system analysis. If you have 4 or more of the following indications, you may consider nutritional aid to the nervous system, or maybe your client or your friend or family. Lack of energy. Anybody you know have a lack of energy? Consumes alcohol regularly, lots of mood swings, poor concentration or memory, stressful lifestyle, feeling low, uninterested, or depressed, too little sleep or restless sleep. Lots of people, right? You can think of all kinds of people. Unsettled, apprehensive, pressured, more than 2 cups of caffeinated beverages per day. I know somebody that drinks 5. And then on top of that, also drinks Red Bulls and things like that on top of it. Can you imagine? Feeling out of control, suffer from anxiety or worry. So much anxiety and worry, especially right now in the world with everything going on. Easily irritated or angered. Lots of people easily irritated or angered. Okay, so how to regulate your nervous system. And you can add the things that I forgot we were talking about before the class. Eat regular wholesome meals, avoid smoking, alcohol, and stimulants, exercise regularly, manage your stress, eat a lot of green leafy vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and nuts. Well, I got practice meditation, yoga, and brain spotting, so I got a few things on there, but you can add, like we talked about, cranial sacral, you can add acupressure, you can add walking your dog, you can add all kinds of things. Chiropractic helps the nervous system, acupressure, acupuncture, so many things. Anything soothing, taking soothing herbs like catnip and chamomile, anything to help relax. Epsom salt baths, floating, amazing. Okay, so how to regulate your nervous system? Belly breathing. Take 3 deep breaths into your belly, long and slow, lasting about 3 seconds on both an inhalation and exhalation. And in yoga, you do lots of this breathing. Also, if you meditate, taking those deep, long breaths, very, very relaxing, really relaxing to the body. And you can do that at any time, anytime. Screen breaks, the computer, it's very tough on the nervous system. So the nervous system can become overstimulated. So you want to break away. Every hour, if you're sitting all day long at your computer, every hour, every half an hour, get up, walk around the table, just get away from it. Okay, be mindful. Bring your whole self in the present moment. Notice what you can hear, see, smell, taste, and feel. Dr. Jensen used to say to chew every mouthful 21 times. Close your eyes and chew every mouthful 21 times. It takes hours to eat a meal, but it really teaches you to slow down, gets those secretions going. You actually get to taste your food instead of inhaling it, right? So affirmation, repeat to yourself, I am happy, I am healthy, I have everything I need, 3 or more times. So if you feel, first thing in the morning, that's a great thing to do. If you feel stressed, okay, you can take a moment. I am happy, I am healthy, I have everything I need. Okay, let's do that together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I am happy, I am healthy, I have everything I need. I am happy, I am healthy, I have everything I need. I am happy, I'm healthy, I have everything I need. See, don't you feel better already?
Yep.
Affirmations are amazing. You can take that, blow it up, paste it on your mirror, and every time you walk by your mirror, stop and say it. Every time you wash your hands, every time you brush your teeth, every time you brush your hair, put it up in a ponytail, anything. Put it on your refrigerator. If you work at a desk, put it, maybe you don't want your clients to see it. Hide it under your computer. After your client leaves, pull it out. Okay. Affirmations are huge, huge. So here's some nervous system products here. So once again, I kept them generic because people are using different product lines. So I don't want this to just be a Nature Sunshine class. So nerve calming, anything to calm the nerves. Notice vitamin C, B complex, schizandra. Okay, lots of things in here. Passion flower, hops, citrus bioflavonoids, valerian. Okay, all of these things are really very relaxing, very calming. Stress. Oh, and the thing about herbs is that you have to take them to get them to work. Because I've had people come back and say it didn't work, and I'm like, well, how many do you have left in the bottle? Oh, half a bottle. It's like, no, you have to take it to get it to work. And the most important thing is you have to be consistent. So I have people that come and they say they take them like every 2 or 3 days. Like, well, do you eat every day? Yes. Well, then you need to take your herbs every day. You know, got it. That's the only way they're going to work, is to be consistent and take them every day. And that's when you're going to notice the difference. Okay. Then if you go for 2 or 3 days without them, see how you feel.
Right.
And if you notice, oh, I feel better on my herbs, guess what? You need those. Your body needs them. Your body likes them. So take them regularly every day. Stress combinations have, chamomile, chromium, magnesium. Magnesium, most people are deficient in magnesium. You need that. Okay, it helps to relax the body, helps with the nervous system. Vitamins A and C. Okay, B vitamins, bee pollen, vitamin C. There's lots of Chinese combinations out there. And you can see here, this got dragon bone and oyster shell and halitosis shell and all these other different things. Ephedra combinations. There's energy combinations. So works with the glands, the nervous system, circulatory systems, helps release stress, promotes energy metabolism, glucose utilization. Okay, nourishes the glands, has kelp and licorice, gotu kola. Hello, Benjamin. Nice to see you. Okay, so here's some other things here. We've got gotu kola, ginkgo gotu kola. A lot of people take ginkgo to help their memory. Gotu kola help their memory. Really great stuff for that. Okay, helps boost circulation to the brain. Gotu kola has been called brain food. Stimulates memory. Really great for that. Boost concentration. Brain combinations. And we can see here ginkgo. There's always Chinese mood elevators to help if you feel sad. People that have they get the seasonal sadness. Okay, when it rains a lot, they get sad. These things can help elevate the mood. 5-HTP helps with sleep and the mood, and Siberian ginseng, ashwagandha. These are really great herbs to work with, and they help with the 5-HTP. So there's some things that can be used. St. John's wort, really great, okay, really great. And it can help with dopamine and norepinephrine, can help with the serotonin, which is a neurotransmitter. It can be used instead of antidepressants if somebody wants to use them instead of antidepressants. But remember, you can't take anybody off medicine unless their doctor takes them off. So a client can go ask the doctor to come off of them, but it has to be the doctor to take them off if they're going to be on antidepressants. Okay, herbal sleep combinations, valerian, passion flower, hops, really great for calming. GABA combinations promote relaxation and peace. Brain activity, especially if their brain is constantly go, 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 go. It helps to calm the brain. passion flower. Focus attention combinations. These are really great for kids that are, and even adults that have problems with focusing, you know, ADD, ADHD, overactivity, any of those things, especially for kids that don't fit in a little box, you know, when they're in school and they want them to fit in a box. These are really great, and kids respond really quickly to herbs. So it really helps with neurotransmitters and supporting the blood and so on. Okay, so here is some flow charts that I have. And remember, these originally started from Stephen Horn. And then, of course, we've gone through and edited them and added to them and so on and so on. So we have memory and mood here. So memory, the general indications are memory loss, difficulty concentrating, and absent-mindedness. A lot of people, as they get older, they say, well, that's just with age. But it doesn't have to be, right? It doesn't have to be. You know, just because somebody is older doesn't mean they have to have memory loss or difficulty concentrating or absent-mindedness. The body can heal itself if given the right tools. Okay. So ginkgo, gotu-kola, brain combinations, and there's a lot of oils: rosemary, peppermint, lemon, vetiver, rose, brain power, and clarity. Kathy Norris added all those oils to my list there. Mood, this has to do with serotonin. So the indications are depression, sagging spirits, chronic pain, excessive appetite, especially craving for sugar and carbs, and insomnia. Okay, so if you know somebody or anybody or multiple people, there's Chinese mood elevators, 5-HTP combinations, Melissa oil, rosemary oil, frankincense, and clarity. Those are some of the oils. That is an oil by Young Living. Okay, so brain, we have sleep and we have overactivity. So if people have trouble falling asleep, they have insomnia. And of course, there are other things as well. Okay, I mean, you can use CBD for this. So there's herbal sleep combinations, 5-HTP combinations. There's some oils here: peacing, calming oil, stress away, ruta vela, and valor oil. Those are the oils that Kathy added to this. Overactivity, so somebody that has excessive mental chatter, you know, they close their eyes and their brain keeps going. There are things that can be done about that, such as downloading, you know, getting a piece of paper and just dumping the brain on paper, everything they can think of. You know, that helps. Meditation helps. But as far as, and then this is also hyperactivity, difficulty concentrating, tics, ADD, ADHD, and seizures. So there's GABA combinations, focus attention combinations, peace and calming oils, stress away, ruta vela, and valor. And then also there's homeopathy in here that works as well on a lot of these things. So if you're like homeopathy, there are homeopathic combinations that help with all these things as well. Okay, symptoms of excess parasympathetic, deficient sympathetic, which most people are the opposite. Most people are excess sympathetic and deficient parasympathetic. But if you know somebody with excess parasympathetic and deficient sympathetic, they're going to have good digestion, good stamina, but tired. They're going to have low blood pressure. And there's a lot of people with low blood pressure, small pupils, they sweat easily, they're sensitive to noises and touch, hyperactive, they have mental confusion, difficulty concentrating, restless sleep, and a lot of urination at night. Okay, so there's Chinese ephedra combinations, energy combos. These are the oils: helichrysum, rosemary, vetiver, aroma seas, and ruta vela. Now, if we go into the opposite, which is the excess sympathetic and the deficient parasympathetic, this is where a lot of my clients are. Okay, anxiety-like responses, enlarged pupils, high blood pressure. How many people do you know they're on blood pressure meds? Infrequent bowel movements. Lots of people with problems with that. Nervous strain, tension headaches, irritability, indigestion, rapid heartbeat with palpitations or weak pulse, nightmares, and muscle tension. Now, it doesn't mean they have to have all of these, but, you know, overall, you know, does this fit anybody that you know? Okay. And so then, of course, there's stress combinations, Chinese stress relief combinations, and then here's the oils: the helichrysum, rosemary, vetiver, aromaceas, and then rutabaga. And they can be combined. You can combine herbs with oils. I got a lady today that is experiencing a lot of grief. And so we talked about grief and where it's held. It's held in the body with the pancreas. And so talking to her about the sweetness of life and her missing the sweetness of life. So she's going to be working on gratitude, a gratitude jar, and trying to figure out what will bring sweetness into her life, and then using the oils, diffuse the oils and use them topically. So, you can do this with oils, a lot of the oils. Okay. So of course, I always promise a little bit of iridology. So I put this together for the nervous system. And for those of you that know iridology, you should recognize this. So we have the Mersenne collarette, and this is the collarette here that divides the digestive system from the rest of the body. It's right here. It's this little ring here. It's different for everybody because everybody's different. A Mersenne collarette is very white, like this, very white. And normally, these people that have this very white collarette like this, they tend to be nervous, intense, hyperactive, on the edge. Okay, usually their bowels affected, including the bowel and digestive tract. They can have abdominal spasms and intestinal cramping. So it's all about the bowel, all about the nervous system, all about hyperactive and tight, nervous, and very intense. This one here, this is what we called an anxiety tetanic subtype. Because they have these rings, and you see these rings, we've known these as nerve rings, stress rings. And so these out here, this is where all the muscles are and all the organs are in the body. And so notice that these rings go through the organs and the muscles and the spine and the glands, and everything goes through all of that. Okay, so what that means is wherever these rings are, it could be a genetic tendency where this person could have tightening in the muscles or cramps in the muscles, pain, and so on, tension. Okay, so anxiety tetanic, these are people that are very A-type personality, A-type behavior, and they have to learn how to deal with their stress and their anxiety and their stress and tension. But they're also major accomplishers. They can accomplish a lot in a short amount of time. They usually have lots of irons in the fire, lots of projects to accomplish. Okay, they can get tension, headaches. Tension can affect their muscles, so they can get muscle cramps, TMJ, cramps, digestive, intestinal cramps, headaches. Okay, it just really kind of depends on. I've seen some pretty cool irises today. This guy had a blue eye and a hazel eye, and the hazel eye had the cat-shaped pupil. I forgot the name he used to call it. Oh, nice, Corin. Okay. And then this is called the neurogenic subtype. These people, we can say it's neurogenic because if you look at the fibers, they're nice and straight, but they're kind of a little bit wavy, kind of like fine silk. And so that would be a neurogenic subtype. So these people tend to be very hard workers. They have a strong drive. They're always on the go. And they're often intense people, but they can also be very sensitive. They can get headaches. They can have ulcers because they hold their feelings in, and they can have nervous system disorders. So these are the three that I wanted to show you. And there are many, many, many others having to do with the nervous system, but those are the three that I chose to share with you. And this is me. This is me. These are all my stress rings here, my nerve rings, and this is totally me. I am type A, a major accomplisher. I've always got 5,000 projects to accomplish at one time. I want to do every class known to man and don't have the time. And I do. When I get stressed, I get very tense and my muscles hurt, which is why I went and floated today. So the key with these people is, and any of these people, is to help them get out of sympathetic and get into parasympathetic. help them learn their body, help them understand their body, help them learn their genetic tendencies, and then help them figure out what they can do about it and how they can change the way that they react to things and deal with things and what to do. There you go. Okay. That's the end of this class. So the next one is on March 20th from 5 to 6, and we'll talk about the respiratory system. Okay. If you have questions, you can call me. This is the office number. Email me, text me. If you want, I didn't put the text number on there. My cell number, well, here, I'll go back to the front. You can, this is my cell here, 530-368-0918. You can always call me, or better off text me on my cell, and then we can pick a time to talk if you have questions, if you want to know anything, if you want to contact me. Okay. All right. Any comments, any questions about anything? I love your background there, Benjamin. Golden Gate. I was just there. Just walked it.
Cool. Cool.
Just walked the Golden Gate. Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
You can
Yeah.
actually walk the Golden Gate Bridge?
Oh yeah, you park opposite the Golden of San Francisco, drive across the Golden Gate, park. There's two, you can park on either side. And if you park, and I don't know my right, I don't know my east from my west. Let's see. So the part towards the ocean, whichever side that is, if that's cool, you park on that side, because then you get to walk under the bridge. And that's amazing because you get to see all the structure of the bridge, and the cars are just going over you. And, you know, it's quite the experience walking under the bridge. And yeah, you can walk. My daughter and I walked all the way across the bridge. And yeah, it's an amazing experience walking over that bridge. Yeah. Or you can walk halfway. Yeah. Yeah. So
Cool.
it's a
I
great
didn't know you could walk it. That's really cool.
Oh yes, you can walk it. Yeah. They have you can ride, you can walk. They have bike lane on the side. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions or comments about anything? Or anything you want to add?
Still haven't got the Zyto scan.
Yeah, she didn't have a car, so she had to wait to get a ride. Yeah. So let me contact her and see if she sent it. Anything else?
So when will this class be? Because I want to go on that tomorrow, but are you going to open it up so I can take my test? And
I'll open it up tomorrow. Yeah, because I have to put it in there. And I go home after the class. So yeah, so I'll do it in the morning. Did you have something, Benjamin?
No, I actually had some computer issues, but I worked them out, and that's working great now.
Oh, good. That's good. Okay, well, this is all recorded, so I will send it out tomorrow morning. So if you want to watch it again, or you have somebody you want to share it with, feel free to share it. And then I'll post the quiz as well. So, okay.
All right. Good night, all.
thank you.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.